Hi, I'm Adam Meyer of Mill City Lutheran in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm going to do a little something a little bit different with this video. We're just going to have a discussion instead of doing basically a repair diary. I'm not actually going to be working on a guitar. I'm just going to show the reasons for this certain topic, and that topic is putting a Floyd Rose into a Gibson guitar. These are not a good match. I'm going to show you why. Now, this conversation, you're gonna say, why are we having this? There's the Alex Lifeson guitar, there's the Richie Faulkner, they have Floyd Rose. Well, those are celebrity guitar players. They can go to Gibson and get something custom made to their specifications. I'm talking about your standard run, off-the-shelf Gibsons. This is an Explorer. It happens to be a custom shop, but it's made like a regular Explorer. So we're going to talk about neck angle, pickup routes, things like that. You can force a guitar to have a Floyd Rose in it, but it's not a good idea. It'll always play like there's just something a little bit off about it. Okay, so I'm using an Explorer as an example. It's what I have here. I'm doing a job replacing the electronics in this, so the guitar is stripped down. It just makes for an easier video. But the same issues happen when we're talking about a Les Paul, when you've got that carved top, or even if you have an SG, you've got the angled body. With the SG and the Explorer, the bodies are thinner, but you still have really deep pickup routes. With a Les Paul, you got a much thicker body, really deep pickup routes, thick body, but you still have to route through the back really far, so you hit those pickup routes. This is what I'm talking about. Take a look here. Pickup route in the body area, or the pickup body area, the main primary area, is a little over 3/4 of an inch deep. When you're talking about the leg of the pickup, that is like 1 1/8 inch deep. Here's the deal. The body on this Explorer is only 1 and, well, it's a little shy of 1 1/2 inch. So we're only left with like, 1/4 of an inch back here. If we're routing the spring cavity through the back, we're going to be routing through where this is just open air. So that's problem number one. Okay, it's a really quick rundown on the pickup situation. So we've got problems with the depth of the pickup routes. This is whether it's Les Paul, Explorer, SG, or whatever. Well, Seth Lover's the guy who created the patent applied for humbucker pickup. This is one that I wound. It's sort of my own version of that, but it's all the same size parts. Check out this mounting leg. That's a really long leg. That goes down deep into the body. That's why there's that secondary route in the pickup route that's deeper than the main area. This mounts to the pickup ring and it goes down, so you can see why we've got all that depth there. It's to accommodate this. A modern version with a shorter leg would be something like this. We still have the pole pieces that come out the back of the pickup. This is a possibility. If we were doing this into a Les Paul and we're filling the routes and whatever, this is a better choice than this. However, you can even find pickups more like this. This is a Fishman Fluence, DiMarzio. There are a bunch of different other brands where they don't even have the leg protrude down from the base plate at all. So if we were to venture in to trying to fit a Floyd Rose into this Explorer, going with something like this would be the ideal pickup to use because it is very low profile. It's the coils are kind of tall, but otherwise we are not having to do any sort of deep routes into the body. We can keep things nice and shallow. So as you can see, there's a definite difference here in the pickup sizes, what is possible to mount into a guitar and have a tremolo cavity behind them. It's like not a good idea with this type of pickup. I'm going to take a really long straight edge, lay it on top of the frets. This is just to roughly sight how high the bridge would be off the top of the guitar here. Now, as you can see, we are up quite a ways off the body. We are a little past 5/8 of an inch. And actually your strings would be a little bit higher because this is laying on the frets. Now just imagine you've got, if you can visualize a Floyd Rose, you need to have that thing all the way up off the body in order for this to be a playable guitar. Having it down lower, the strings are just going to be laying on the neck. So that is a major issue. Just having the tremolo that high off the top of the body is really unstable. Also, even if you're putting on the really long, I believe it's 42 millimeter trem block, that still doesn't get deep enough in here. We're still going to be routing through and into these pickup cavities. So I've laid the cavity for the back of the guitar on the front just so you can see what's going on here. Roughly where these two posts are is about where the guitar would intonate. That's where you want your saddles to be. But imagine you got a Floyd Rose, you've got your pivot posts a little ahead of that area. So this is, I'm eyeballing, this is about where it would be. Now look here, the spring cavity where you're going to have your screws to hold the claw in place, that's going to be hitting air. You might be able to build something up, get it to work right or whatever, but it's not going to be very stable. Okay, here's the guitar all strung up. Just to give you a reference or just kind of a visualization. This guitar, trying to put a Floyd Rose on it, you're going to have your strings all the way up here. This, it stays the same. Strings relative to the frets. We are, what is that? Oh, 9/16 of an inch from the surface. You really got to get that Floyd Rose up off the body in order to even play the guitar. And that'll result in, like I said, it's going to go really deep into that. You're going to have the routes on the back really deep in order for this to be playable. Well, there you have it. I hope this all makes sense. I'm just not skilled enough to make computer animations or draw diagrams and everything. All I can do is just kind of show you a body, how deep the routes are, how thick the body is, and hopefully you get the idea of why it's not a good idea to do this. Any of the signature models that have them, I don't have one of those in hand, but they must be building them a little different. Shallower neck angle, a thicker body so that you're not routing into the pickup cavities, or the pickups are different and the routes are shallower for the pickups. There must be differences. Otherwise, as I showed you, you're going to route through and hit the pickup routes and just have a hollow guitar. So something like this Explorer, yeah, I can force it to have a Floyd Rose, but in order for me to do that, I have to do all sorts of extra work. I would probably end up having to fill in these pickup routes, use different pickups, route shallower for shallower pickups, a lot of little things like that so that you don't end up with a guitar that collapses under string tension after a week. If you want it to last, there's a lot of extra work to make it happen. So what else can you do? There's a Kaler tremolo. Those work great on Gibsons. Not everybody likes Kalers. They have a totally different feel, but it's what works. They can mount to a flat surface, or they have ones that mount onto the tailpiece studs of a Les Paul. There's only a shallow route directly under the tremolo for the springs, unlike a Floyd Rose, which is a deep route that goes all the way underneath the pickups. So there's the difference right there. You got your bridge, everything's right here underneath. Floyd Rose, you got to go that way and get your springs underneath the pickups. That's the big problem. So let's say you still really want a tremolo on your Gibson, but you don't want a Kaler, and you don't want to go through all the extra work of making a standard Floyd Rose work. There is the new design out, the Floyd Rose FRX. These mount to the existing height posts and tailpiece studs and whatever, and there's also a locking nut mechanism. It's not going to be the same thing as a Floyd Rose, but you are gaining some tremolo use out of it. It's also reversible, which Floyd Rose and a Kaler, they are not reversible without major work. So it's something to try. I've installed a handful of them. They work fine. It's not the same as a proper Floyd Rose, but it is something. And you're basically paying for the part and like a setup, maybe a couple other little minor labor things instead of a full Floyd Rose install. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It's not really a diary of a repair being done or anything instructional. It's just a discussion. Like I said, I have this. People ask me this after they watch one of my Floyd Rose install videos. They'll send me an email, and you can't always explain the roadblocks into doing it easily. I put a Floyd Rose in a Stratocaster. Looks super simple. This time you bring in a Les Paul, it's not simple. So just to try and make sure help you understand that there's some roadblocks here. So anyways, if you have any comments or questions, you can always leave them in the comments section below the video, or my contact information is in the About section of my channel. You can contact me directly that way, and we'll see you next time.